All right, thank you. As you watch from different parts of Africa, different parts of the world, well, thank you for joining this very special broadcast of National Telegraph. My name is Tataw. I'm your host. Let me just state it clearly that there's just so much going on around Africa, and want to thank those of you who are joining from Uganda, those of you who are joining from Ghana, those of you joining from elsewhere, from Cameroon. And those of you who are concerned, today we want to talk about Cameroon, Ghana, and of course we'll talk about Uganda, and we'll talk about what we think the U.S. policy should be towards these countries. And we could also talk about Ethiopia, but we want to concentrate on these countries today. We'll start with Ghana, where we're extending our condolences to the Ghanaian population. As you're all aware, funeral rites for late president, military ruler, leader Jerry John Rawlings is ongoing, and of course you're all aware it's just very serious that the entire African continent is very saddened by his departure, and we think that at this very crucial moment the entire continent of Africa should join Ghanaians to celebrate this great leader. In fact, all of you know how much he contributed to democracy in Ghana, and if you want to call one of the most stable democracies in Africa, of course, you wouldn't go without citing Ghana. Ghana is actually moving up towards a direction that can be a prototype for African countries, to be very sincere. Yeah, you can have a few hiccups here and there, and elections complain. It happens everywhere, but Ghana actually is doing great. Let us seize this moment to hashtag JJ Rawlings. He's done a great job for the African continent. He's inspired a lot of youth, and he's been one of the most outspoken Africans per se. And so we join today to celebrate him. And in the meantime, we also will be talking about specifically about Uganda and Cameroon. Ghana was just to draw your attention to what is going on with JJ Rawlings. We've reported that on National Telegraph, but we just want to reiterate from our report. As you're all aware, it is actually a great thing for the Ghanaian people. I know bearing JJ Rawlings at this time was not expected, but you know how it is. And we can always continue to say that he's been a great person and he has a legacy that nobody will take it away from him. That's just a matter of fact. Okay, so we all know that a lot of things are happening, and We will probably next tomorrow, talk about the African Union. As you are aware, the African Union elections is coming up for the Commission chairperson, and Faki is running unopposed. So we're going to talk about that, but definitely not on this show. On this show, I want to concentrate on Uganda and Cameroon. For those of you watching from Uganda, okay, let me see you all out there, okay? And don't forget, a big hashtag to JJ Rawlings. He's done a great job, and we thought that it was important that we try to salute his sacrifice for the continent of Africa. So thank you all who are hashtagging JJ Rawlings. Just keep hashtagging. It's very important. As many times as you can hashtag and let us know where you're watching from. And that's a tribute you're paying to the great leader. All right. Okay. Thanks once more. Let us now get into Cameroon and Uganda, where we have very serious issues going there. For those of you watching from Uganda and even other parts of the world, you cannot say you are unaware of what President Museveni has done to opposition leader Bobi Wine. And these are things that must be discussed. Remember that the U.S. ambassador to Uganda was blocked from visiting Bobi Wine, and he's been under house arrest since few days after elections. And he was only yesterday that the High Court of Uganda gave orders for the military or for soldiers to vacate his residence. Okay, but this is the point. The question that everybody got to be asking is, what was the court doing? And many people who contacted National Telegraph from Uganda are of the opinion that the president has placed a call to the president of the court, the president of the country. Museveni has placed a call to the president of the court and asked him to play that smoke screen, like to present Uganda to the world as a country that has the executive separated from the judiciary, separated from the legislation. But that Ugandans don't buy that, because majority of them, they think that the election was rigged. And, we can't say for sure. We, as journalists, we just reported the results that, declared by the Ugandan election commission. But that doesn't mean that we cannot get into probing the elections. It happens everywhere. And by and large, contrary to the U.S. case where President Trump went to many courts and was given the opportunity for recount, what happened in Uganda is that the opposition leader was just immediately shut down, because Bobi Wine has growing popularity. Nobody can deny that amongst the president and Bobi Wine is more popular. People would have loved him to be president of Uganda. That's a matter of fact. And then the question is, why did Museveni order the house arrest of his own opposition just days after elections? Okay, that tells you one thing. It doesn't happen in America. It happens in other areas in Africa. And this is a question that we think that the Ugandan youths must rise up to ask the authorities. We're here as a media organ to analyze, to explain. And if you ask our opinion, we think Bobi Wine was poorly treated. Everybody sees that. And that's as a matter of fact. And so the Ugandans out there, both those of you who are at home and in the diaspora, must begin to understand that you have a social responsibility to your electoral system to rise against the fangs of dictators. And so there is no denying of the fact that Museveni is a dictator. Only dictators would lock up the opposition leaders after elections. To be honest, we respect the institutions governing all frameworks in Uganda, from the executive to the legislation to the judiciary, and that is exactly why we are bringing this on the table, on our desk, for the people from Uganda, from Cameroon, from other parts of Africa that are facing all of these things. Take, for example, even in Ghana, former President John Mahama accused the incumbent, of rigging the elections. But what happened? He wasn't locked up, and we think that Africa should copy this example of Ghana, Uganda especially. Remember that when Museveni came to power, he said the problem Africa is facing is leaders who are trying to change the constitution to remain in power. And he's done exactly the same. So the Ugandan population has a right to get up and then ask that, okay, there should be an auditing of the votes. Why did you lock up, arrest Bobi Wine? And even when Bobi Wine was crying that he has the wife's 18-month-old niece with them, the military still did not give them a chance to get food, water, or other accessories. So these are very important things, and we think that the world should be watching closely. Let me just relate to Cameroon, where there's been an armed conflict for the past 4 years in its Anglophone regions, where the people of the Northwest and Southwest are demanding for the restoration, like they call it. Journalists will call it for the creation of a new state. Yes, of course, it's the creation of a new state because you're trying to change the status quo. If you are restoring something that once existed, existed. It means it's something new you're trying to create. So there's always some newness in anything you're trying to do new, even when if you were old or you already existed. So these people who, according to statistics and census, shows that there are over 8 million in those two regions, Northwest and Southwest. Generally, they are called Anglophones. They are battling government soldiers, regular army to establish the state of Ambazonian in the Northwest and Southwest. And surveys have shown, statistics have shown that over 80+% of these people want independence. Well, there's always going to be these people who don't want it, which is the case, But then the problem lies in government approach to resolve the issue. Many people have died already, and just recently, I'm going to cite you some examples. In the town of Bamenda, which is the capital of the Northwest, 4 youths were killed by the military, just brutally murdered. Go to areas like Mautu. All of you have seen the reports. Over 15 civilians in 2 attacks, and this is a cause for concern. People must be concerned about issues like this. So the question we're asking at National Telegraph is, why is the world not putting enough pressure on these regimes? The case is clear. The last 4 years in America, there's been a lot of I can say infighting within politicians, and so America has probably not had enough time to concentrate on foreign policies. Like you're very aware, a lot of African leaders have taken the advantage that, okay, the US too was fighting over elections, which is normal, but finally the courts prevailed. And so what should the Biden administration be doing? This is where the crucial answer lies. The new Secretary of State that was speaking during his confirmation hearing said it very clearly. He's highlighted those countries that he thinks of concern: Uganda, Ethiopia, Cameroon, DRC, a lot of those countries, and they have all those things on their dockets. But this is the problem. I want to stay on Cameroon and Uganda. It's very crucial. We still don't understand how the military still gets the kind of courage, given that they are also human beings, to kill people the way they do. So the question we ask is that, how are you a soldier to protect the population and one person that's president? Because it wasn't happening in America. President Trump, former President Trump, or Biden, the current president, cannot give orders to the National Guard to go kill civilians in Maryland. It's never, ever, ever going to happen. So the question is, why is it that those soldiers continue to do these acts? This is the question that begs. And so we think that people should speak more to the consciences of soldiers, because they are human beings. They can begin to understand. But with the way Cameroon remains porous, with the way the military has been infiltrated, there are just doubts about who is going to report, which soldier is trying not to be loyal to the president or to the regime. You're immediately going to be killed. Therefore, this leaves the aspect of Cameroon to be solved by foreign partners, by international community, and this is where the US comes in. It is very important for the United States to really strategize and change policies towards Cameroon. I think it's an appeal this platform can make, because we are reporting Cameroon 24/7, we're reporting Uganda 24/7, we're reporting many parts of Africa 24/7, and we think that in Cameroon it's so terrible, it's so bad, that countries must intervene. Those of you watching from Uganda, you have to start talking about the issue, raise up debate in your areas, because these are fellow Africans that have been killed. And the African Union is busy talking about the Intercontinental Free Trade Zone, where Cameroon is supposed to play a key role as a member of the SMAC. But what is going to happen? Can you have trade being paraded freely around with the situation that you see in those areas, with a lot of tension in its Anglophone regions? Don't forget that these regions produce one of the highest percentage of the country's gross domestic product. As a matter of fact, yes, that's the truth. So you must all understand that when a part of a country that gives a fundamental quarter of the country's GDP is affected, then the continent has to be concerned. The world has to be concerned. That's why you have everything coming from. So, but why is the West staying quiet? Because, of course, a lot of the Anglophones think that the world, other countries are conniving with Cameroon to ensure that they kill these people. But the new United States Secretary of State has stated it very clearly that violence is being perpetrated against Anglophones, and that is the truth. Nobody can deny that. Yeah, the Minister of Territorial Administration Paul Atanganji, said that they have just pockets of resistance. But what happened? Just early today, last night, you had an attack in Limbe, where Cameroon is Limbe is one of those cities where Cameroon is hosting the African Nations Championship. And so, there are three cities: Douala, which is the economic capital, Yaoundé, which is the capital and the political capital per se, and Limbe, which is one of the country's greatest tourist destinations, is also hosting this. And just last night, there have been attacks. And there have been pockets of attacks around Limbe, in Limbe itself, in Ombe, in Mautu, in Boya, in Mutengene, in Tiko. So there's been at least 10 attacks since the beginning of the African Nations Championship. And so you ask yourself the question that, how come the Minister of Interior or Territorial Administration would stand on media and tell the world that they're just pocket of resistance? We are of the opinion that the United States should force Cameroon to dialogue to solve this problem. The United States should force Museveni to dialogue with Bobby Wine. All these things must be put on the table if the continent of Africa wants to be great. Look at the mafia that's going on in the African Union. That we'll talk about it exclusively probably tomorrow or once we arrange. Don't forget the African Union election. The election for the president is coming, or commission chairperson is coming in February, just very soon. We're going to publish an article. All of you will see that. And one person is running in the whole of Africa. How do you explain the fact that only one person is qualified to run for the commission chair of the African Union? This is not done anywhere in the world. I mean, imagine how many people we have in Africa, great minds we have in Africa, people who are very, very authoritative, who are democratic, and who can speak on behalf of the African continent. So this is exactly what we are talking about. So Africa has an issue, and Cameroon is crucial for the development of Africa. The Anglophone regions remain crucial for the development of the free trade zone that the African Union is trying to make sure it works. It's already launched. But ask yourself the question that with pockets of resistance, like Atanganji Paul calls it, in the Anglophone regions, right in the heart of the city hosting the Chan, how would free trade prevail? There's just a lot that's been shut down, and minus COVID-19, Cameroon you can say Cameroon has a COVID-20 in its civil war or in its armed conflict. And these issues must be resolved, and that's what we think at the National Telegraph. So I want to thank all of you for always watching, and we just say, okay, we're going to bring this to light. Let the US understand that it is crucial for them to intervene in these countries, especially Uganda, Cameroon, Ethiopia, DRC. And now we have the Central African Republic, where we'll be analyzing things further. I mean, there are just a lot of things going on the continent, but we have to prioritize those things that involve government outrightly killing civilians that are acting within their legal rights. It's very important. There are rights that are not legit, but the issues that we've analyzed from Cameroon shows very clearly that the Anglophone population has a legit concern that the world must look into. Trying to ignore it only gives the government of Cameroon, Probia, who's been there for the longest time, the high-handedness to continuously kill these people. And whether or not you like it, it's the same thing. If the US and other countries spoke up about Uganda, Bobby Wine will not be kept under house arrest for many days until a certain court gets up and say, okay, the military should vacate. But the court has watched Bobby Wine stay under house arrest for the longest time since few days after elections. So these are concerns, these are issues that we must talk about. They are primordial for Africa to develop. They are primordial for the world to function properly. They are primordial for anything that has to go, because remember that Africa is there, and every country, every part of the world has interest in Africa, just like Africa has interest in other parts of the world. So it remains crucial that all of us must put hands on deck as journalists, as civilians, as citizens of each country, to try to make sure that we resolve problem facing our people. And if you ask our opinion, our very firm opinion, on this platform, we're calling on the US government and other partners to force Cameroon to a negotiating table with the rebels so that this issue can be put to rest. A lot of people have died already. Activists from the Anglophone regions, they are citing numbers up to 20,000, but other organizations say there are just about 3,000. But we can cite the amount of people being cited by activists, because there is no way just 3,000 people have been killed. So we think that the Human Rights Watch and other organizations, other media organs should update their figures on the number of deaths. Cameroon military has killed way just too many people, and we've seen all these pictures, and it will not be wrong to put that number at over close to 18 or 20,000, so thereabout. But we can't exactly place our fingers on any particular number because there is no genuine data when it comes to the number of deaths in Anglophone Cameroon, but an estimate from the reports we've seen and from people crying, grief-stricken families, everyday videos, you could put that way over 18,000 or thereabout. Once more, thank you so much for joining. I think we're very happy that you all join us today, January 26th, Tuesday, 2021. It's a good thing always having you on National Telegram. If you are not following this page, click on like and follow immediately, and always hashtag. Let's know where you're watching from. Thank you, those of you who joined from Uganda, from Namibia, from Colombia. We see a lot of people also join from Zimbabwe. We want to extend all of you, the African continent, our heartfelt condolences as you prepare tomorrow, Wednesday, to finally say goodbye to J.J. Rawlings, Ghanaian former president and a great leader, very great leader that changed the story of Ghana. All right, want to see all of you from Ghana, from Accra, we are with you, from Kumasi, any other part of Ghana that you're watching from. Okay, a big hello to all of you. All right, so thank you so much, and we continuously say we remain grateful on this platform. Don't forget, in the days ahead, we are going to be launching our own platform where all of you will have to go there. They call it Dimples. It should be available in the market by sometimes in February. That's where we'll have all of our videos uploaded. So get ready. One, thank you who's joining from Nigeria. Okay, we'll not forget Nigeria. We know a lot is going on there. We should be talking about all these countries. It's important to bring them to light. Africa should be heard, and we have the voice, and that is why Dimples is coming up for all of you on the African continent to join the platform. That's your own platform. Once it's ready, it will be announced. Don't forget, we can use Facebook to announce Dimples. You can always use another media organ to announce another media organ. It's important, all right? So thank you once more, and what shall we say? Bye-bye. Thank you. All right, stay and remain blessed.